You want to move this?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Black
Multiverse
Multiverse
Theory
Theory
Podcast.
Podcast.
Welcome to the Black Multiverse Theory Podcast, where hosts Nigel and Nilo explore current events through an Afro-Canadian lens. In shout-outs, we catch up with the community, creating a space for connection. The scroll dives into social media, current events, and celebrity news, always actual but not always factual. The screen on the screen, we share our latest watch list, while in our ears explores the sounds shaping our world. We culminate with an uplifting message. It is, I think, my week this week. The podcast hopes to leave you empowered. Thanks for tuning in for insightful analysis and perspectives from the Black experience in today's world.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You over there, too. Thank you. All right. Well, we are here and we are talking to you with some shout outs. First of all, shout outs to Mama Zita, who is on, still watching all the shows she can watch, which is our show and whoever else is on the radio, and still doing her thing. So shout out to her. Shout out to Bill, who's also on, doing his thing.
Hey, Billy.
Yeah, Bill's on.
Okay, well, that's my shout out. But also, big shout out to Uncle Mario, who's still tuning in all the way out there in New York land. So, hey. Shout out to my cousin, Renata. She is pregnante. She's having
Oh, nice.
allegedly a baby boy, you know.
Okay.
Sometimes things shuffle up in the last minute.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything with certainty.
Yeah.
And she has her shower coming up, so I won't be able to make it, unfortunately. But a big shout out to her and the rest of my family, who will definitely be there.
Shout out to Kyle, who's on as well. My favorite illustrator of all time.
Yeah.
And comic book writer. Fantastic job. Shout out to my girls and my children, my boys and my girls. I finally got all the pieces to get together to do an Xbox party. So
Okay.
we finally got all the things so that we can join each other on Xbox, which is fantastic. I'm so happy about that. And that's shout out to BACSP for a great revival meeting this week. Pastor Rod and Lady Keisha and all of the saints and friends and brothers and sisters that came and joined us and volunteered. Thank you. What a great weekend it was.
Okay. I had another shout out in there somewhere. Oh, yes. If Kyle is still here, anyway, everybody. AJ Loudon, who is my good friend and an artist here in the city who paints all over the city and paints all over the walls. Make sure that we see afros and flowers everywhere we look. AJ is doing a project with one of the high schools here in the city, actually Victoria School,
Nice.
to do a mural. And when they were trying to figure out what style they were going to do in the mural, they wanted to do it in the style of Harriet's humongous hair. So congratulations. It was pretty stellar to hear that. And
That's
also
huge.
for that to even come from Adrian, it was pretty cool too. So yeah, it was pretty dope.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Shout out to Uncle Barry, who's on again. Thank you. Wonderful time.
Okay.
I'm excited that Harriet's humongous hair is going to be there if they're going to do that style, which is great.
Yeah, some kind of a style.
That's fantastic. That's a shout out. That'll be living immemorial all there the whole time. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope you get to go there and sign the bottom. That'd be awesome too.
I guess so. It's just inspiration, so that's cool.
That's good.
I
whole
love
generation.
when the art inspires new art.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready to move on to the scroll?
We're going to move on to the scroll.
Hey, we did it.
Yeah, we finally got it.
Okay. What are we talking about this week?
Well, we got a lot of things to talk about this week. So we want to talk, first of all, with the local stuff that we got going on. Alberta Music set up a mixer on Monday, which was fantastic.
Yeah, it was so good, actually.
Had a lot of people there. I came in the door and was very hungry and was trying to head over to Sherall, who was over. Oh, Sherall's in right now. Trying to head over to her. She was over serving by the food table, and it took me about 15 minutes just to get to the crowd, and everybody was shaking hands and talking and stuff like that. Jana represented with their space, and they were represented with their president and everybody that was there. I saw Bobby T and his wife and the children. They were there running through the place for a little while before bedtime, and had a great time. Just had a great time. I stepped on the floor, I sang, and then walked off.
I was
and it was
tucked in the back corner on the right hand side. I kind of saw a bunch of people there, but to be honest with you, just the vibe of the place moved me so much that I started crying. So I was just like leaned in the corner, enjoying the music and like tearing and crying. And I said, next time that we do it, I will make sure that I bring some percussion instruments so that people can join in more.
Yeah.
Percussion's a good gateway instrument.
One of the things they did a little bit differently this year is they invited a lot of gospel artists to come out. So we found out that after a little while, we started just going into worship, and there was a whole worship set, and people kept jumping in and bringing in new worship songs, which was really good for those of you who attend and do worship and enjoy gospel music. It was a really great time. People I didn't see, which I kind of expected to see, but I didn't see, was like Darren Jordan and a couple other people, but everybody else, it was fantastic. Sherall says she loved it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, and it was really good. People were taking videos. There was soca in there. There was a soca artist from Barbados, and there was a couple other artists there that are neo soul artists, like Anka is there. She's a new artist. Sanctuary is the soca artist that was out, and a couple other people. Quite a few people there. Last time, I think there was probably about maybe 50 people last time. This time, I believe there was close to 80 to 100 people there. It was fantastic, the amount of people that were there.
Big shout out to Arlo, who is a champion of music and musical arts in the city, and a big shout out to Natalie, who makes sure that we have everything documented at all times. And documentation is so important.
Yeah, it was really good. Shout out to Arlo. Arlo really did a good job this time around, as usual. He's setting the tone for everybody, and that's it. We're supporting Black artists, Black music, Black businesses, just blackity black. That's what we're trying to do. So it's really good. And all those who can support and come out to these events, we appreciate when you do. So that's fantastic.
Also, big shout out. Well, I guess they are part of Jana, to Miss Colleen, who was there, and Michael Brudegan, who was on site as well, and who I like to call behind his back Baby Brudegan, which is Jabari.
Yeah, shout out to Miss Bev from Sunset Reggae Kitchen. Yeah, she was out there, which was really good. Next up on our scroll, for the part of the scroll, we have
Wild Boars.
Wild Boars. What's happening with the Boars?
Finally, before, when you were like, Albertans, catch the boars, hunt the boars, nothing was happening. The boars were just boring. And they started a campaign called Squeal on the Boars.
Really?
Which means you don't do anything except call somebody when you see them and report where you see them. And when you do that, they come and they trap the boars, and then they sell them to Loblaws so that you guys
Wow.
can have some bacon.
Yo,
Anyway,
leave
what do
them
you think
wild
boar's
boar
head is?
bacon. Boar.
Anyway, I'm just kidding.
I understand.
Um, sorry, hold on.
The problem with the wild boars was wow. The problem with
That's what I was
the
missing.
problem with the wild boars was they were like, "Yo, we're gonna pay you, the public, to
Shoot 'em
go
up,
out
shoot 'em
and
up.
get them." But you're not allowed to shoot in public. You're not allowed to hunt them in a public space. You're not allowed to have it.
shoot in city limits.
You're not allowed to use a bow and arrow to shoot them either in city
Not a
limits.
bow and arrow? I thought
Not a
bow
bow
and
and
arrow was the one we decided.
No, it was a knife. You had to go close quarters, like tick, 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 tick. It's a Mexican shake, 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 shake.
You have
know,
to
it's
shake to bone,
yeah,
essentially.
you gotta get Timon
on
to be
behalf of the city.
Timon talking about
When I
Hakuna
was a
Matata.
young warthog.
Pop, 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 pop.
Ha 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 ha.
I got you. So that's it. So wild boars. So did they catch most of them?
They caught mad of them is what I'd like to say. But what I suspect to happen, because boars are not stupid, they will likely just start staying away from humans more and stay more inside, you know?
Well, if you learn nothing from Ninja Turtles, Bebop and Rocksteady really were a hard
I don't
couple
feel
of people
like
to catch.
I feel like they misrepresent the boar in media. And there's probably a reason for it. Because Bebop, it wasn't Bebop. One was a warthog, but the other was a rhino, wasn't it?
I think Rocksteady R was the rhino and Bebop was B for the boar.
Okay, let's assume that that's what it is.
I think.
So Bebop and Timon make it seem like warthogs are absolutely stupid, but I feel like they're misrepresented.
They're real smart. They evaded capture for
long time
in the city limits without getting refuge from friends or a halfway house or a safe house.
Not refuge.
You know, these boys are smart.
They are smart.
So yeah, next up.
Sorry,
Mhm.
there was a video, and there probably still is a video online where this guy's like, "Oh, look at him, sweetie, look!" And there's this like boar just like walking up to them, and then they're like, he's like, "Oh, should I pet him?" And the wife's like, "No." And then the boar just struts up. When I say struts, like out of the bush, across a little lawn, down into the street, across the street, up the street, struts up, and then all you hear is the guy go, "Ow, ow!" And then you see the phone shuffle, and he's like, "Help, help!" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, it's a wild animal.
It's
like,
gonna bite you."
What did you think was happening?" The boar was like, "Wait right there. I'm coming.
I'm coming to you. I'll go to you." I walked over, gave him a chance to run. But that's the thing about wild animals, nature, and people who feel that they're Beastmaster and they want to come and touch animals. I saw a dog the other day inside the car, and this guy was like, "Oh, look at the dog." And the dog has that pouty face. He put his head inside the glass, and the dog was like, "Rah!" And then the video cuts. It's like, yo.
There was a coyote, and the guy was like stretching out his fingers as coyote, and this coyote like jumped and just bit his head. He's like, "Oh, you effer." I said, "This is on brand."
Animals are going to bite, and if they're wild, they're not trained, so they're gonna do their thing. Anyways,
Kyle said Bebop and Rocksteady killed Donatello, which I am not familiar with that storyline, and I choose never to be familiar.
I think is that from the Kyle? Is that from the latest movie or is that from the comic? Because Bebop and Rocksteady in the latest comic, everybody dies. Like I think everybody except for Michelangelo is dead, and they have to go back in the latest installation.
We're doomed. Okay, who's next?
Bell Canada.
Next? So Bell Canada, you guys, listen. Call out every chance you get. Bell Canada, these people don't care about you. Bell Canada got 400 of their employees on a call and fired them and wouldn't let them unmute or ask any questions. Pretty much like negated all their permissions while they were on the call. Just fired 400 people at once on like, let's call it a Zoom call. It may have been Meets. Who knows?
Recorded Zoom call. They made sure, glad everybody's here. Everybody here, good to see you, Dave.
Bro, can you
Good to see you,
believe
Jeff.
I would be
Karen, good to see you.
livid. I don't know what I would do.
I just want to let you know at this time, you're no longer employed here.
I
Don't
would
worry
be
about coming and get your stuff.
livid.
We will mail it to you. If you want to get your stuff, though, we'll have it in security. Just give your
Bro.
name, and they will give you your box of your stuff. That's wild. 400 people. 400 people.
And then not letting them unmute is really the thing. Like,
Yeah, what do you want?
we
400.
don't care.
But what
Whatever you have
400
to say.
people? What do you want from 400 people? How do you choose who speaks when you fired
You don't.
400? You
Nobody
can't.
talks.
It was the wisest thing they could have ever done.
No.
I would have done the same thing.
I don't know about the wisest, but if you're getting 400 people on a call, then the wisest thing. Like, if you've already committed to having 400 people on a call. Yes.
Yes.
May I suggest?
One-on-one. One-on-one interviews. Back-to-back interviews. $50, $60 an hour
of pay
just
the cost to be the boss.
$60 an hour of just talking to. Okay, hey Jeff.
So how do we save the most
I'm sorry.
money? Well,
You're out.
The thing people
What do you got to say?
particularly concerned about is that Bell just received quite a bit of money from the CAD government, quite a bit of CADs, for, to expand and hire and keep all these people during Covisha.
Yep.
And they don't have to pay that back.
The money's done.
Meanwhile, the small businesses are here.
Yo, this is 4 years later. The money's finished.
What do you
All
want
that
to
money
do?
they used to keep those 400 people, they're like, all right, money's done.
Bro,
Oops. These
they
are the
got
4 we were going to fire
so
back
much
then.
money. Trust me. That 400 people.
Well, tell us, Rogers, Shaw, you got
Keep it to yourself.
You got an influx of people coming. You got an influx of people
us.
coming. Next up, we have NDP leader.
Yes, Neneshi from Calgary, the former Calgary mayor, is now running for leader of the NDP. I have to say out loud that I've been to a bunch of things. I don't know if David Shepard actually listens to this podcast or not, but I do have to say that I have missed David Shepard at the huge events because we usually have chit chats and little talks about what's going on and whatnot.
Right.
And he did make a post about not running for leader of the MDP because he has some personal and some medical things that he's dealing with, and he doesn't feel like he's there at the place where he could like take on that. But I also have to say, like, man, we're sorry for that.
Yeah, David Shepard is a good candidate.
Yeah.
For the leader. It is a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And but he got ill, so you know, you got to do what's best for you and the fam. So I get it, man.
It's true.
And by fam, I'm talking about all the people in the household, the cat, the dog, the horse, the his girl, his woman,
lady, Ms. David Shepard.
His lady, not Ms. yet.
Ms. Not Mrs.
Not is Ms. but ain't David Shepard.
Lady. Fine. In any case, I cannot remember her name, and I don't want to say
That's
the
okay.
wrong name.
It's okay.
All right, but yes, Neneshi. A couple people are like absolutely not, but it looks like he's in the lead so far for leader of the NDP. But the problem is that when they pull him against the UCP party over there, he's not doing well against them. I don't know what polls they're reading and where they're reading them from. So
understood. Yeah. Next up, speaking of David Shepard, you know, as one of the only black people that is there, chocolate prices have got up.
I had to look directly at you to be like, how is this transition about to work?
The price of chocolate has gone up right before Easter's. Now, we all know that Easter is not about chocolate or bunnies, but it is about the rising and the resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus.
Well,
so
it's about return of the sun. How you choose to spell that sun is up to you.
That being said, chocolate prices have skyrocketed right before Easter.
Yes.
And they're trying to figure out in the news,
I don't
CBC
think that
specifically,
will affect this chocolate. I think it'll Because the prices of chocolate going up affect candy bars down the road.
I think it's Easter egg hunts right now is a big thing.
Supply
My
and demand
mom,
is what you're saying.
I love my mom to death. My mom used to get for all grandchildren, like, and she has lots of grandchildren. She used to get for as many as she could. She used to get an egg at Zellers, and Walmart started doing it at one point, and they would write your name on the egg. And for a person named Nigel, finding your name on something like a keychain, you
so
can't
sweet.
find that in Edmonton. You might be able to find it in London, Edmonton, but you wouldn't find it here in Edmonton, Alberta.
Mm-hmm.
So finding that and having that, it's a hollow chocolate egg. They had the vanilla ones too, or the white chocolate ones. And your name was on it, and she'd have everybody's name from Cree to Paige to everybody, all the grandkids, all of them that she could find. And now, for all the people who still do that, chocolate prices through the roof for all you chocolate lovers.
I don't think it'll affect these particular chocolate prices. I believe it'll affect the chocolate prices down the line.
I don't know. Chocolate is already high. I used to get a Reese's chocolate bar thing for 50 cents at Byway. Now,
not Byway.
Really?
My God. What is going on?
Does anybody remember Byway? All of the people who are on this call right now. Hi, Juanita. Juanita from Florida, all the way from Florida. Hamilton, good to see you out there. Also, Bishop Samuels, good to see you, Deacon, on here. Fantastic seeing you as well. But anyways, all the people who remember Byway. Oh, and to also quote, Kyle said that Donatello dies in the comic. That's when that's when Bebop and Rocksteady steady put it to him. Anyways, for those who remember Byway, you got to remember the stuff, because I remember hating Byway, and I loved Byway and I hated it. I loved it because chocolates were cheap, and my mom was more inclined to buy me a 50-cent chocolate on there. However, the reason why I am my age and just bought my first set of Jordans, like my first set now at my age, is because my mom used to buy my sneakers at Byway. I'd be like, if it's
okay, let's play a game. Are you ready for this impromptu game?
Go ahead.
Okay. You start. I'll start because you said Byway. Let's assume Byway to be your turn. We're just gonna say things from pre-2000s Edmonton. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Until somebody runs out of stuff to say.
Okay.
Okay. Sand store.
Woodwards.
IGA.
IDA.
I'm like, Zellers.
Kmart.
I wish we had a timer. Ooh.
Boom, 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 boom. Anybody in the chat know things that are from that time period that are no longer here?
Army and Navy.
Sears.
Oh, Eaton's.
Oh yeah, Eaton's. Yeah. Yeah. Bullwinkles.
Berry teas.
Berry teas. There's only a few select people who know what berry teas. So I'm gonna stop the game right there. That's it. You win. Berry teas. You stop the game right there. That's it. That is it.
Kyle said San Francisco.
Oh man, Kyle, San Francisco is truth. That is the truth.
That was a good one.
Further into the scroll, Diddy. Everybody knows Diddy. Take that, take that. What happened with Diddy in the Diddy news now?
So apparently, I assume Lil Rod, because this is what we expected to happen, but Lil Rod's complaint triggered a federal investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the point in which they're like raiding the houses or whatever, it means that they already have evidence so that they would have had to get a search warrant. So both of P Diddy's houses, his LA house and his Miami house, both got raided. His sons were seen. They weren't arrested, but they were publicly like handcuffed and like kind of backed up and taken out of the house. Definitely lots of SWAT came,
Mm-hmm.
tons and tons of SWAT. Diddy's jet took off from LA and landed in Antigua or Barbuda or something like that.
Barbuda.
And there was like some talks about Cape Verde around there too. But the point is that Diddy apparently is still in Miami. Nobody has been arrested yet, but they have seized whatever they have seized from his house. And now, if you go on Twitter, you could like see videos of inside P Diddy's house, which I assume that the SWAT team must have done that. Because how else would we have gotten this video?
Mom said I didn't finish my last statement. Did I not finish my last
Oh,
statement?
what was it? I guess
I
I must
don't
have interrupted you.
I don't remember what it was.
Did she want to remind us so we can go
Mom,
back?
if you can remind me what I was talking about that I didn't finish. I thought I finished my last statement. But let me tell you something about Diddy while we're on the Diddy statement. Anyways, because I've already moved on. So Kev on stage was talking about Diddy this morning, and he's absolutely right. What he said was that Diddy is on evil layer status. Like he's an evil villain at this point. Because anyway, you raid all of my homes that I bought. First of all, homes
Multiple.
plural, right? And I have a flight. I'm already on a jet to my evil lair. He said that a volcano opened and the evil layer's inside the volcano. And Diddy landed in the volcano. He's like, you'll never catch me.
Yeah. There was like some weird TMZ video of him pacing somewhere in Miami, but he was not detained. And, so who knows where he is at this point. And now they stopped being able to track his jet. He was like,
Yeah, he got the
get that thing out
transponder
of here.
out of there. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But some guy is like, oh, well, in order for any plane to fly, which is true, even if it's a small plane, even if you're going up and coming back down, you have to file a flight plan, and you have to put that flight plan in. So when you put that flight plan in, you can see other people's flight plans. Like that's not private information.
Unless you have an evil layer in a volcano on the way of the flight plan. You can say I'm going to Miami and over to Barbuda, but on the way to Barbuda, you might have a couple volcano layers sitting there.
Obviously. Now, obviously, volcano layer is the answer because there's no other answer.
There's no other answer.
But
Diddy.
People are also saying that Quincy is nowhere to be found.
Which Quincy?
Quincy's supposed to be Albie Shore's son that Diddy was raising.
He's gone too?
He just has been nowhere to be found since this whole thing went down. He wasn't in any of the houses. So the people are saying maybe Quincy turned state's evidence.
Oh, no. Maybe.
Or, I'm saying states. I don't know if it's states.
Maybe he's in witness protection until he can say what he's got to say. Maybe.
Also, Young Miami's over there. And Young Miami's like, this summer is going to be fun, which was also hilarious because somebody retweeted it. It was like, this is what I'm going to tweet when my man's going to jail, which is hilarious.
That's hilarious.
And then also, there's a psychic that is on, I believe she's on YouTube maybe.
Okay.
Anyway, the lady predicted this whole thing, time frame and everything.
About Diddy.
Every step of the way. Like there was one reading. She's like, this is going to happen and this is going to happen. She's like, oh, I see a complete and total takedown somewhere the end of March, April, around the Easter time. She's like going into it. So she did a whole reading about this Diddy thing long time. Apparently Kim Porter came to her and was like, oh, it's over for this man.
Wow.
From beyond the grave or whatever. But I mean, Kim Porter gave her all the information, and we may not have known this, but when Cassie filed the lawsuit, which is considered to be the first dominoes in this fall, It was on Kim Porter's birthday.
Wow, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah. So. Oh,
Ooh.
there's another thing.
Well, the last thing that we have
I
on
have
the
one more
screen.
thing.
Oh, what is it?
Catherine, Cake Gate. Did you know that? Oh, two more things. Oh my God, I'm remembering everything now. I'm so sorry. Let's talk about these two things quickly, please. So, Princess Catherine
Princess. Okay.
made a video and she said that she went in for some abdominal surgery. Did you see this?
No.
They went in for some abdominal surgery. They didn't think it was cancerous at first, but when they got in there, they found cancer.
Oh, okay.
And so she just wants to like recover, and so she's going through chemo. She wants to do it privately with her family, pretty much get out of my business.
Okay.
Yeah, so she came out and made a proper video where you can actually see her face.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so sad. So two members of the royal family now with the big C.
Wow,
That's terrible.
absolutely horrible.
Yeah, so wow.
I hope there's no radiation coming from that gold and metals that they stole.
Oh, so actually, sidebar to that, apparently, because of all the extra press Rose Hanbury and her man are getting, who also like have a position, they did some photo shoot in some magazine in their house, and the China was like, "That's our stuff, girl." And so there's a bunch of stuff in there that's like from stolen dynasties. Like,
wow.
so apparently, yeah, they're gonna be like, China's like actively trying to get their stuff back because they're like, oh, that was actually stolen from the King dynasty. That's Q with a king dynasty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's
the Qing
a bit
dynasty.
Qing. That's pretty hilarious to me, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Yeah, they did a whole expose in a magazine, and it's like all fabulous in their house with all fabulous things, and Rose Danbury's there, and then China's like, wait a minute, babe, those are our things. Also, in Baltimore, the world is finding out that the mayor of Baltimore is 20 something years old. But we knew this already because we love him and we followed him and we wanted him to win. But
Mhm.
in Baltimore, one of the big barges, Baltimore is like a major thoroughfare for a lot of ships,
Yeah.
bumped into that bridge, that big bridge in Baltimore, and the entire bridge collapsed.
Yeah.
So they were able to clear out the thing a little bit. So apparently there wasn't like too many cars. There was people working on the bridge that they cannot find anymore, and there's
Oh,
like a
no.
couple, yeah, there's people missing in the process. So that is nothing short of a tragedy.
Yep.
Already, if you go on Twitter, X, whatever, there's like a bunch of theories that they're like, I've slowed it down. Here are the, they feel like it was like, I don't know.
Oh, people do this all the time where they're able to slow down
Yeah,
footage,
and
and they
create a
have
whole nother scenario.
like software that allows them to strip footage and slow it down. So they did that before when a couple of those planes went down, and they were able to like slow down
Yeah.
where it is and do flight recording and to hack into satellites to see like colored things underneath the surface of the water.
9/11 when you talk about this.
Yeah, so it's a thing.
thing.
So maybe well,
Yeah.
shout out to the families and
Yeah, it's
RIP.
definitely a tragedy. But the thing I don't know is like, is there a way to get from Baltimore to New York without using that bridge? Was that just a different bridge in Baltimore? I'm not really sure.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Anyway, those were the things that we forgot. I forgot in the beginning.
Okay. And then the
Last
last
thing.
thing is that Edmonton's population surged. Huge surge in population. Apparently there's 202,000 people that have I thought it was Alberta, but it says Edmonton there. But
Yeah, I think it was Edmonton. Let me go back and check.
2002 people have joined the populace. Meanwhile, the housing struggle for the people who are houseless right now remains
Sorry.
remains pretty heavy. A lot of people with no homes. What do you got?
Oh, it is Alberta. Sorry, you guys. You're absolutely right. It is Alberta's population that has soared.
So that's between Calgary, Fort McMurray, all the different places around are going to spread that 202,000 people around, which is not strange. We have some people that have come to our church recently, and they are brand spanking new to the city. So new that they didn't have proper jackets and clothes and stuff like that. What has happened is in some cases, the city and different organizations are making deals with people who have homes and for rent, and they're paying the rent but piling in more than the occupancy of the home. So there's like 10 people living in like a 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom.
Wow.
Kind of deal. So they have to kind of figure that out. And also not informing, because people from other countries, don't they don't have all the information all the time about moving. So like in other countries, when you rent a space, it comes with a couch and TV and furniture.
Oh, it's furnished. Yes, I've seen this.
Coming here to Edmonton, they'll rent a space and be like, well, what is this? This is crazy. There's not even drapes or blinds on the walls. There's nothing. It's just a room. And we're like, yeah, you're renting a space.
It's true. But it turns out that 202,000 people are coming from majority Ontario and British Columbia. That's not to say that they didn't get there first and then come over here after, but yeah, that's Ontarians and BCians. I know you guys come over here and then I'm talking to you about how expensive the food is and how expensive everything is, and you guys are like, no, it's expensive, but it's not as bad as Ontario. The rent is not as bad as BC. Oh, Ontario, the rent is so high and they raise the rent, but now our rent's going up. And I didn't choose to live in Ontario and BC. So why would I be comparing my Alberta rent to that?
Yeah. My mom
you guys
came
are driving up the rent.
My mom came back. She just wanted to correct the last statement. It wasn't that I didn't finish my statement, it's that she got cut off.
Okay. Thank you for correcting that.
Yeah, no problem. So that's it. That's it for the scroll.
We're going to move on to...
Yeah, let's move on.
The...
Screen.
Okay, so what...
So on the screen...
Sorry, my dog distracted me. She was like, "What's that?"
On the screen, we got some new stuff and new shows that have come on. First of all, let me start with this. If you have not started watching X-Men 97, you are failing yourself. You have failed this city. And let me tell you how you have failed the city. First of all, Scott Summers, and I'm going to give away, this is a spoiler alert. If you haven't started watching it, you're in trouble.
We need a spoiler alert.
Here's a spoiler alert so you know this little part. Spoiler alert, sure. That's a weird one for spoiler alert.
How about this one? Spoiler alert, everybody.
That's a spoiler alert. That's a good one. So, spoiler alert. First of all, Scott Summers, when you watch the original X-Men, he was always getting punked by Wolverine. Wolverine always punked him. If you actually go back and watch it, Jean Grey has never, ever told him that she's loved him or that she even had feelings for him. We, the people who have watched it, were like, yeah, Scott's a punk. That's Wolverine's girl. And he went through a whole crisis when he thought she was dead.
Right.
But she's always and has forever been Scott's girl. She's never said anything. They've never broken up. She's always been Scott's girl.
Oh, not Wolverine's girl.
Never Wolverine's girl. So actually, Wolverine was just being that guy.
I always thought she was Scott's girl, though. Didn't we all?
A lot of people know, because a lot of people
thought
Wolverine was so cool, but Wolverine actually is creepy. because
yeah,
there's no
yeah.
consent there.
Yeah, she's always like,
Yeah. And then so you see Scott get punked out. Sometimes he got punched out, all sorts of stuff, and his visor is always coming off. He never had that thing with like a chin strap or anything.
you know what I hate about it? Let me tell you what I hate about his visor always coming off.
What's that?
Is that he's always like, oh, psh, psh, psh. Like, bro,
Like,
can you not feel it coming off? Close your eyes.
here's the thing that you need to know
Look
about.
down.
You need to know this right now. He's always beaming.
Yeah, as long as his eyes are open.
So even with the glasses on, he's beaming.
Yes, but
So when the
glasses stop
glasses
it.
come off,
Right.
he's still beaming. So he's
Right.
going to fire off like 5 or 6 shots before he closes his eyes. That's actually real. That's actually
the
good.
part that's annoying for me.
I know it's annoying, but it is. But guess what happens in 97? They make up for it. There's a scene where the entire crew is in the Javelin, the plane, the X-Men plane, and it blows up in midair, and they're all falling, free falling in midair. So Storm looks at Rogue and is like, gives her the nod, and they go pick up as many people as they can get. They don't even go for Scott. Scott's like, bet, and goes into this dive and stops himself from falling with his eyes like a rocket ship. He uses the flow to slow himself down. And then he puts his glasses on and he's like, to me, my X-Men. And they all flip into place. Like, behind him is so cool. I was like, yo. And there's another scene where he's sliding across the floor, beating up all these bad guys, using his beam to propel him.
Okay, good. So they were like, let's, because the only time you really ever see Scott's beam before is like when it's like mad accidental. Occasionally he does, but it's very accidental. Like, it's the most devastating when it's just accidental. I also heard that in this one, Storm at some point has to leave the X-Men and go to some place and just let her powers power, and there's like all kinds of things happening at the same time.
No,
that wasn't that. Maybe that was something else.
No, it's worse. But I can't say that one. Sorry, you gotta watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
You gotta watch it. I can't say that. That spoiler. I can't watch. I can't say that one. But to be honest, yeah, I didn't like that part. I'm not gonna say nothing. So there's that. Number 1. Number 2, I watched Damsel with what's her face there from
Poor girl. Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby. Is that her name? Millie Bobby Brown for real?
I don't know.
I think her name is Millie Bobby. Millie.
It's not Billy Bobby Brown. Millie Bobby Brown.
I think it is.
You talk. I'll figure it out.
So Millie, she's in Damsel, and it's really about women being taken advantage of.
Yeah,
and being
Millie Bobby Brown is her real name.
That's it. Millie Bobby Brown, women being taken advantage of, being sacrificed for their title and the power that they hold. And then somebody has to stand up to a bully that also has been lied to. And it was a really good women empowerment styled thing.
However, I must
you do your take.
I have to say it.
Go ahead, say it.
Listen, right now there's a show on Amazon. I believe you can get it on your Amazon Prime through Discovery Plus. That's what it is. So in this show, it's called Quiet on Set. And Quiet on Set is about your boy, this Schneider guy. I don't want to call him. What is his name?
In the meantime, shout out to Darren Hall. Shout out to Courtney Alcock. Shout out to Teresa Jones. And shout out to Kevin Walters.
Dan Schneider.
Perfect
time.
Right.
So Dan Schneider, who was doing all kind of weird stuff to kids on set back in the day.
Yeah.
Putting their feet in available for people and doing weird stuff. Anyway, I did not watch it, but you can get bits and pieces, and how he pretty much broke Amanda Bynes. You can get bits and pieces of it. But what I want to say is that I felt like Damsel was shot it in ways that in fetish ways over fetishized this girl Millie Bobby Brown. So there's lots of shots of her feet. Courtney's giving me the what, but I don't know what he's whatting about.
He's probably whatting about the fetishing thing that you said.
Maybe.
How it was shot.
So there's lots of like shots of her feet. There's a shot where there's like what are they called? Stalagmites.
Yes.
That are like hanging of what is it? Icicles hanging from the inside of the cave.
Yeah.
And she's like,
oh, when
like,
when it was dripping, it was melting,
doing?
and she was thirsty.
Okay. I understand that it was justified in the movie.
She was thirsty.
They didn't do anything that they didn't justify. But I felt like there was a lot of weird fetishy stuff in the way that they shot it, that I was like, that didn't have to get shot like that. We don't have to see that girl's feet right now or now or now or now or now.
Millie Bobby got thrown into the thing and her shoes fell off immediately. She had shoes on, but they were probably heels because she was gay. Anyways,
also her makeup was perfect the whole time.
Listen, you can't have better makeup.
Perfectly made out, like not a smudge on her lips. When I say eye shadow, like full, not makeup, like it's you're on camera, you're gonna have to have makeup on your face, like obviously. And yeah, you're like trapped in this cave or whatever with a dragon, so like,
yeah,
bro, yes, a smudge, but like full makeup. I'm like, how are you hot, cold, wet, sweating, goopy stuff?
She did swim, didn't she? Swim and came out with
all that stuff.
Came out almost perfectly dry.
Perfect makeup.
I would have been freezing cold after going for a swim with all my clothes on and getting out, and then having to face off against a dragon. But
Courtney, this movie is called Damsel, and it is with Millie Bobby Brown and a dragon
on Netflix. And then last but not least, on the screen, Bad Boys 4 coming out to meet you here as we get ready for the next installment. I watched the trailer and I'm like, yo, are these guys going for a Fast and Furious type of series where they come in? I love Will Smith. I do. I love this Will Smith. And I'm a big fan of a lot of things that Will Smith does. I love the book that he wrote. I love the music that he came through. I even love the slap. I felt like the slap was justified. What a bap, snap it bap. Sometimes people need a little slap, but to be honest,
I felt like Will Smith was huffing and puffing.
It was hard to watch. It was hard to watch him running this route.
Up an incline. Like I'm like, oh, they got to shoot this a certain way to make him look like he just didn't look like Independence Day. You know what I mean?
He ran in Independence Day. He was lean because he's never lost the weight that he gained from Ali.
Okay.
So pre-Ali, he was lean, slim guy, Fresh Prince. So he's running. He's got his shirt off, and he fought them on the shirt off portion. And they were like, no, dude, the shirt off, dude, just trust me. And it's one of the most famous parts that they show in both films is him running and him running with his shirt off. Wow. And he runs in almost every Bad Boys movie and sweats because it's Miami. And he's just running and sweating.
Courtney, I want to talk about this, but first I'm going to talk about this in the Word, so I'm going to keep it up here.
Slap takes us backwards.
So I'm going to say that I watched the Vince Staples show the entire season. I don't know how many episodes or how long they are, but it's relatively quick, maybe a 3-hour nice little binge. It's interesting. It's a lot of world building. It's a lot of setup. But they canceled it. So it's like it ends in a kind of cliffhanger way. Some things I'll notice is like there were two deaths. There was no violence against women, and the death of a black man, you don't see it on the screen, but the death of a non-black man, you actually 100% see on the screen. So I
Wow.
thought that that was interesting, and I was kind of thinking about it in terms of some of the uh artistic decisions that they made and he
Mm.
made. So yeah, Vince Staples show if you want to like watch something non-committal.
I only watched the first episode and I haven't gone back yet. And then I watched by mistake the last episode and was extremely confused. I had so many questions, so many questions between the first episode and the last episode. So
This
don't do what I
happens.
did.
No.
All I
Now
d-
you're gonna what they call this is Tarantino. What you're gonna Tarantino?
Yeah, I'm
this.
gonna have to. I'm gonna have to
You saw the
Tarantino.
beginning. You saw the end.
Now we fill in all the middle
Now you
pieces.
gotta fill in all the blanks. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Now we have some really quick events coming up
Yeah. What do we got?
that we were supposed to shout out that the
Shout
people
out.
definitely asked. Shout out to Sherelle and Sheryl.
Yep.
The Carrie West band launch.
Band launch. Beep 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 beep.
Go ahead to carriewest.ca. Tickets are almost sold out.
Yeah, they were at
this
60%
year-
this morning.
And this year it is taking place in
West
Western
Edmonton Mall.
Yeah, so big shout out to Carrie West and this band launch. We also want to give a big shout out to Sheryl, who has a 780 comedy showcase
Nice.
that
Yep.
she helps definitely assists with. So check out Raleigh's
Yucks.
reports pretty much, or Yuck Yucks.
Was it at Yuck Yucks?
I don't know if it was at Yuck Yucks or the other one.
I don't remember. Sorry, Sheryl. If you
Check
have it,
out Raleigh's
throw it in there. Check it out.
reports.
Check out Raleigh's reports.
Yeah, as Sheryl will definitely have that information for you, and also tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations also goes out to Sean Flava.
Tom Flavor.
I believe, you guys, I don't have the full list, but also congratulations to our guy over there. Can't think of his name, the drummer, O'Shane.
Shane. Yeah, he won something.
He also got an award, and yeah, there was a couple people on stage. So shout out to everybody who was recognized by the National Black Coalition of Canada. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's it. It feels like AJ Loudon. AJ has a show coming up. That's in May. That's the end of May. I believe it's May 25th.
Right.
So you can check out AJ Loudon Studios for that.
Okay.
Yeah. For those tickets. When did I say it was?
And this weekend is another show by Sean Flava as well, isn't there?
Yeah, the White Party.
The White Party.
Yeah. So the Prairie Star Deck by AJ Loudon is going to be at the Alberta Craft Discovery Gallery right here in Edmonton from May 25th to July 20th. That's a long run there. So definitely go check him out. And yeah, support our guy. That's AJ Loudon.
Okay.
You said something and
White Party?
The White Party, yes. Shout out to Sean Flava. You can check out his Instagram or Trisha Boss Lady. Trisha's Instagram as well if you are looking to get all white tickets. Look it up on Eventbrite. There's a bunch of all white things going on. Also, shout out to Jana, who will be having a fish fry this weekend.
Fish fry.
Do you know the date of the fish fry?
For those of you, it's usually Good Friday.
Okay, it will be Good Friday.
It's usually a Friday fish fry.
I was invited.
Yep, and that is at 18150 127 Street.
Yeah.
And that's at the Jana building out there. They're going to have that out there. They have now pepper shrimp. So for those of you allergic to fish but not allergic to shrimp, like myself, go and get you some pepper shrimp. For those of you allergic to shrimp but not fish, go get you some fried fish. Those of you allergic to everything, just just go and support. Try and stay away from the stuff. Don't let the stuff touch you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we have a thing coming up here at the shop.
Mm-hmm.
It is the Rechic Hair Your Hair is Easy
Yes.
series of events coming up. So big shout out to the Africa Center and a big shout out to the whole team. Uh, it's a workshop. My Hair is Easy, where we'll explore the art of adorning our hair, whether it is a seasoned stylist or you're just experimenting with hair accessories, beads, shells, threads, and more. This workshop is designed to inspire you to elevate your hairstyling game. So this is April 5th with Merlin.
Mm-hmm.
We have a wash and glow. That is myself, Ama, and Reggie, who are two young stylists in the game.
Okay.
That's on April 7th. And then we also have April 11th, a mental health workshop. So about mental health and black hair. And that is myself and Addie.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
That's a good one.
there's also one other event at CKUA as well, which is cool that CKUA would be hosting an event there.
What's the event?
The last one at CKUA is called it's just a final day. It's a closing.
Of the same show?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
there's like some Tale of Two Bundles things. There'll be people vending, and that's April 13th from 1 to 4 at CKUA.
Yeah, I was at CKUA for a couple of events, and CKUA has a huge rental area and rental space. So
Did not
lot
know that.
there's
Very
lots
cool.
of spaces in there for you to actually be balcony spaces, balcony parties, all sorts of stuff that can be done over there. If you are interested in putting an ad out here at the Black Multiverse Theory podcast, please come put your information into the comments below, or even just contact us personally so that we can discuss how you can get your event, your product, or your things, your business out there, your services, whatever you're providing, whether it's, plumbing, massage, electrical, doctor, whatever you were doing. Right? Contact us and let's put you on, and you could be viewed by over 10,000 people.
Okay.
And that's it.
That is it. So now this is the portion of the show where we called the word.
The word.
Where we leave you with a hot take.
The hot take.
Maybe a medium warm take, even sometimes.
Sometimes.
Try not to have a cold take. So let's talk about this slap taking us backwards. The reason why I left this up here and said that I was going to talk about it is because what I want to talk about today is about authenticity.
Right.
And I also want to talk about a thing that I refer you to, or that is referred to as, now the word is not coming to me, respectability politics. Thank you. So respectability politics is the act of making sure that you behave a certain way in certain scenarios in order to specifically control racism or stop racism from coming your way. So I think that a lot of us, we were raised in shame, especially Caribbean people, but African people as well, Afro-Caribbean diaspora and Black people. And that shame was, we were shamed by the people who were close to us to make sure that we carried ourselves in a way in the public where we wouldn't feel that shame from the public, or we already had a sense of that shame when we were interacting in the world. The challenge with that shame is that it intentionally, it really bleeds into the other parts of your life and sometimes stops you from putting yourself out there, because sometimes when we do put ourselves out there, we don't succeed. It's not successful. It's a failure. Look at Madam Web. Like, it is a awful. It was a bad movie, but
Allegedly.
whoever those people are, Dakota, whatever her name is, they are gonna go on to make more movies. They are gonna go on to do more things, right?
Yep.
So it is important that we don't let how we are viewed
Mm-hmm.
instill this sense of shame or trigger this sense of shame, which actually stops us or impedes us from trying something, trying and maybe failing, and really being able to be our best selves. And in many cases, really putting ourselves out there for the things that we're actually really, really good at and really, really great at, and believing ourselves at that and being okay with how we might be perceived, even if that perception isn't something that is positive, right?
Right.
So yeah, so that is what I want to say around that. Like, I think that right now the age that we're in is the age of Aquarius, obviously, but it's really an age of authenticity. So it's about representing yourself authentically, representing yourself well, and also doing away with that shame that many of us have internalized. And that's it. That's my word for tonight.
All right. That actually is a very good word. No.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Black Multiverse Theory podcast. We will see you again next week.
Next
Same
week.
bad time, same bad channel.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.